Hello and welcome. I am Elise Foss, and I want to bring you a workout of awareness of the body, of gentle moves, of breath, and of self care. So let's just start by connecting the feet into the ground, connecting the sit bones into the chair. By noticing how the feet want to connect with the ground. Notice if you can just spread the toes and connect those toes a little better into the ground. Then see if you can allow those shoulders to release gently away from ears with each breath. And see if you can breathe in as you come center. And as you let the shoulders come away from ears, can you let one shoulder come to the other side and then coming back center? And start to notice your whole back. What can you soften? What do you need to activate so you just don't collapse? And can you activate things without making your body rigid? Because we don't want to be collapsed, but we don't want to be rigid either. So on that note, can you just press one heel into the ground so you can find a connection to your sit bones and relax, and then press the other heel and start finding your glutes activating on that side that you're pressing. Maybe finding a rhythm with your breath when you're doing this. And hopefully finding some activation. And to help that activation or more of a feeling of those sit bones and the connection to the chair, can we squeeze the glutes, squeeze, 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 and then release them into the chair, letting those sit bones just sink into the chair. And can we do that a few more times? And release. And perhaps one more time. And the release. And then coming back to ear to shoulder again. As you breathe out, see if you can find more space on one side. And coming back center, letting your chin come a little closer to the chest, and then letting your head get heavy, putting more weight, allowing the spine to just round, and then pressing your feet into the ground, rolling yourself back up, and then even lifting the chest a little bit, like your sternum is smiling to the ceiling. And do this one more time. So connecting those toes into the ground. And as you allow yourself to round, don't do so much of a collapse. And it's easy to just collapse in place there. But see if you can press your feet and then find a scoop so that energy is moving all the way up to the crown of your head. And then unscoop and come back up. And roll one shoulder at a time. And coming back and reaching one direction, pressing those toes down and letting the arms come back down and doing it again. And again. One more time. And release and switch. Do it again. Couple more times. And one more time. Just finding your breath, opening those arms out to the side as comfortably as you can, but see if you can relax those shoulders away from ears. And then imagine that you're hugging a big ball, so your elbows are rounding and the ball is in front of you. So it's not just your chest that's leaning into it, but you also need to make space from the bottom of your body for that ball. And can you make more space between the vertebrae of your neck? And then open the arm. And now can we do the same, but going over, like you're putting your arms over that ball. And can you make more space between the vertebrae and the neck? And then bring your elbows in, maybe out and back again. Press your toes into the ground. Find more lift. Shoulders away from ears. Bring it in. Arms out. One more time. Breathe. Scooping, keep that energy moving all the way from the toes, the hips, up, and bringing in, and then just crossing in and out few times. Imagine that you have a ball or a block between your knees, so your knees are not just falling outwards or they're not falling inwards. So just imagine that you're squeezing a little something between your knees, and imagine that you're squeezing, not really squeezing, but holding a piece of paper under your toes. So your toes have a little bit of weight to them. And talking about toes, let's go ahead and just wiggle them. And I like using socks like this because they separate those toes. And when they live inside the shoes, they really don't get that separation that often. And go ahead and just spread a little more those toes. And then press your big toes, lifting the little toes, and then pressing little, lifting big, pressing big, lifting little. We are helping the arch of our feet by exercising our toes. And as we get older, our arches tend to dissipate a bit. So keep going, couple more. And then can we curl the toes under and release? Few times, just curling under, releasing, and again, and releasing. Couple more times. How about one more time? And the grand finale right here. Now, reach up with one arm. You just woke up, and then with the other, pressing, making sounds. Sounds are good. Movement, sounds, expressions, whatever feels good. And then release that. And can we turn gently one direction? Let the chin come to the chest and let yourself just round again. Use your breath, but keep your toes connected with the ground, making more space in the back of your neck by keeping that roundedness. And then coming back up and lifting the chest. And then coming back centered, take a nice deep breath. And releasing, reaching through those arms, through those fingertips. And turning gently the other way, gently, gently, gently. And letting the chin come to the chest, but more than like just a collapse down, can you keep making more space, like you're becoming taller and rounding at the same time? And breathe into your hips. When ready, bring yourself back up and lift the chest. And coming back center, take a nice deep breath again. Spread your fingers, spread your toes, arms to the sides of the body, and go ahead and reach. Press one shoulder away from ear. Press those toes into the floor. Breathe. Find that side space so you can breathe better. Right? Opening those intercostal muscles. And releasing that. Come gently to the front of the chair and bring one leg behind you. If this is not comfortable with the chair you have, you can always do the same through the side. Instead, the important thing here is to see if you can keep lifting so you don't go into an arch of the back in a passive position. If you can see it here, it's just actually uncomfortable, instead of sort of like a lift that you can create from the base upwards, and a stretch in here and a softness wherever you need to soften. So the lift doesn't mean tighten. It's just more like like a floating upwards, and then come through the middle. And perhaps your chair has arms, so you just need to be more to the front of the chair as you just shift side to side. And can we do the other side, either this way or turning this way, right? And again, we are going to lift, find that lift, but more like a water fountain than a, and find your breath and notice whatever you notice. See what needs adjustment. What do you feel in your body? What feels good? What feels right? What needs a change, a shift? Where is a shift needed? Coming back center, and can we bring more weight into one sit bone and then into the other sit bone? And can we now bring the opposite shoulder to hip and come through the center and do the other? And if you get a nice clicking somewhere, not like a painful one, but a little click or like a nice free chiropractic adjustment, then more bonus points, right? Again, always something that actually feels good, like a release, not like a loud sound or pain. We're never looking for that. We're looking for more space in the body. Or at least I am, and that's what I'm wishing for you with this class. So go ahead and just move the feet back in, interlace your fingers, and when you're doing this, tendency is just going to be to sink forward. Now, can we lift from the pelvic floor all the way up and push and keep those shoulders away from ears, and then lift the arms and lift them as far as it feels good, maybe one direction and the other, and then release those arms, spread the fingers, spread the toes. One more time, reaching, opening the side of the body. A couple more times. Breathing. And walking the toes out. And again, staying forward in the chair, however forward you need to be so that you have enough space to open, and we want the knees as lined up with the toes as possible. Now let's do one more time. Push the thigh gently out and then go the other way, and see if you can find rhythm with your breath. See if you can be curious as you're moving, like, how does this feel? What do I need? What do I need to release? What needs to engage so I don't collapse, right? Can you engage from the parts that are closest to the center of your body and less from those outside muscles? And spread those toes and just lifting and lowering, pressing the big toes into the ground if it feels good. Let those arms come out. Even into a V if that feels good. Maybe one more time. And I always say maybe because you get to choose, right? Whatever feels good to your body. It's your class. It's your time. Interlace your fingers round through the spine, making more space everywhere. Looking under one armpit, looking under the other armpit. Coming back center, arms moving up. Releasing those arms to the sides. Coming back to the chair, lifting one leg and pointing and flexing. And it feels okay, articulating through the toes, like grabbing something and releasing. And then switching sides, like grabbing and releasing, breathing. And coming back down, and then leaning down gently into the back of the chair, like you want to open the front of the body, not so much like you want to arch your back, but more like, can you find some opening through the front and release? Couple more. And perhaps one more time if that feels good. And then coming back center. And let's take a few nice deep breaths to finish up here. Just noticing whatever you're noticing now in your body. And taking a moment to feel thankful for this body that you just got to interact with, move, all the amazing things that our bodies do for us. And I thank you for joining me today. I am Elise Foss and wishing you a wonderful rest of your day.